Hey, haven't made a video in a while, so I figured I'd just get on here and start talking and see what happens. But life's been pretty crazy. I don't think I've made a video since like January. Yeah, lots happened, man. Lots happened. I don't smoke pot anymore, so that's good. But I ended up doing like 3 times the amount of time in a treatment center, waiting on housing, waiting on a transitional house, which I'm now at. So that all went through swimmingly. Yeah, I'm just gonna come right out and say it. I can't escape it. Everywhere I go, I just bring out jealousy in people. And I don't know how else to say it. I really have no idea how else to say it. Something about, and I'm not used to it. I didn't grow up experiencing this feeling. I have felt jealous of other people for so much in my life. And I have worked on it so much to be able to feel good for other people. That I spot it in a second. Like an absolute second. Because sometimes I think who am I to say that other people are jealous or envious or, any other type of word that means those two things in varying degrees. But then it really, at the end of the day, what else am I supposed to do? Just pretend like the shit's not happening? Pretend like I'm living in a fantasy? I'm not. Because the only way I can prepare myself for it and be ready to not give a fuck what people think about me is if I'm seeing reality clearly and I'm understanding reality exactly as it is. And that's really important. I can't walk around being such an optimist, thinking oh, they're just going through a hard time. It has nothing to do with me. I should still give them the benefit of the doubt. Give them my full trust. Forgive people again and again and again. That you can't be soft like that in this world. So at this point in my life, I would rather be wrong and make mistakes than tread too carefully, tread too lightly. I'd rather be wrong and proven wrong, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. All it does, treading lightly, treading too carefully in life, is breed resentment towards myself and other people, right? Resentment towards myself for being a pussy, and resentment towards other people for not acting how I want them to act, for not acting how I think they should act. Resentful towards life for not being the reality that I dream about. I was in therapy the other day, and I was telling my therapist, I was like, I derive so much satisfaction from the dreaming that I do about the future, about all the different possibilities that there are in life at any given moment. How many different avenues that I can take and that others can take that will impact me. All of the different variables in my life and how each different road can turn out. And I love dreaming and daydreaming about the best of the best, because I'm just not used to getting those things. However, as I'm now getting older, right, I'm 36, I'm finding that I rely too much on those dreams for the feelings of feelings of satisfaction. It feels like that's all I do is dream. But at the same time, it's like maybe I don't only dream. Maybe I do put the work in, but everything that I'm doing is just not working. And so in the end, it seems like all I'm doing is dreaming. But really, everything I'm trying is just not working out. And, there's a couple different ways you could look at that. One, you can look at it, I'm stupid, I'm a failure. Two, you can look at it like I'm not seeing clearly, so the attempts that I'm making towards the dreams that I'm having are faulty, right? They're not actual avenues, and the work that I'm putting in is just kind of wasted effort. Or three, it just hasn't happened yet. You know what I mean? Because the degree of success that I am looking for is incredibly ambitious. I think a lot of other people would have already settled and said, I made it. I know they would have. And so there's like a subjective analysis of what success is in that regard, to where I'm not satisfied. I need to keep going and keep pushing. What other people consider success, I consider failure. Maybe not failure, but more or less a means. Continuing to be a means. And yeah, that's where we're at.